ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 Polar Music Prize laureates, Kaija, Saariaho and Youssou. Welcome.
Did you, I suppose you couldn't imagine that when you were starting out in music that there were even these sort of situations? You're both from musical backgrounds, your family backgrounds perhaps? No?
Yeah.
You're from the griot tradition.
Yeah, griot are storytellers before TV or radio news, something like that. The griot was playing that role, tell people what's happened, the connection between people, celebration also, and they were making people laugh also, and laughing. And I come just from my grandmom. I get this virus and develop it. And they are really the traditional griot were playing free, were playing everywhere, were talking to people everywhere. Just when we come, we go to the theater and invite people to come to see, and we develop it like with the reality now. But the griot are the memory. Yeah. And in my my grandmom, and the side of my mom, and coming from the griot family.
Uh-huh. And Kaija, what
No,
happened to you to bring you to music?
I just, I think I was very sensitive to music, but my family really was very humble family when I was born, and I loved the sounds of nature. I felt that that's part of the music, and then I just learned to know music through the radio, in fact. And then when I grew a little bit older, when I went to school, the teacher told my parents that I should start instrument. So it was a very private thing for me, and it has good and bad sides. Well, the good thing was that it was my own thing, and I was living it in my own way.
Yes. Were your parents pleased? Did you get encouragement?
No, they were not pleased at all, because I was very shy. So in fact, I did not like to play to other people. So when I started to say that I have decided to be a composer, they thought it's pure madness, because we think about composers being great musicians who perform their music and other people's music. So no, that was not easy.
It's funny. When I was young, I always wanted to play every instrument. And then when I realized that I couldn't, I think that's when I started thinking about composition more. Well, I could write for people who could play. And it was easier. But you studied piano and violin in
I
Sibelius.
studied violin, piano, organ. Organ was my big love.
Me too.
I was thinking that maybe I could be organist in a tiny village in Finland.
Yes.
Have a quiet life.
Yes, I was a church organist for a while.
Yes.
Too, yes. Yeah. My father's a fantastic pianist, and I couldn't compete, so I took up the organ. Yes, but you studied fine arts at the same time.
I did
do
at
the
some
two
point.
go together, sort of?
Well, yes. My imagination is very visual, so I try to both ways. But the music was always the important thing. Music included also the visual.
Right. Did you?
Yeah.
Youssou, did you come via an instrument, or did you start just to sing, or did you learn an instrument first and write on instruments?
Yeah, I'm not really an instrumentist because of, in Africa, everybody are musician, everybody's know exactly about the rhythm. I can play percussion, the rhythm, something like that. But I use my voice in my instruments, and I remember a lot of development in song or something like that. I just have the ideas, mimic to the guitar player or keyboard, and I feel like I play with my voice.
And a similar question to you: when you're composing, do you compose with an instrument, or is it?
No, in fact, very much before I start composing, I imagine.
Yes.
I feel that it's good to really imagine the music, then not to be disturbed by the details, because if I write a big piece, it's so many notes. So most important is to know what to do. Then to do it, it's just to do it. So I first imagine, and then I start writing.
Yeah. And the inspiration, does it come from a place or a time, or?
Many times from some fantastic musicians or singers, stage director. I worked a lot with Peter Sellers. Text, painting, some light. But mostly, in fact, there when I'm working. And it's so horrible sometimes to start working in the morning. But I know that it's like starting instrument there to making yourself warm. And then I force myself to it, and sometimes, the fantastic moment comes. So I think that's the biggest inspiration finally.
Yeah.
I think really, for my experience is traveling. When I travel, just meet sound around the world, and give me a lot of inspiration, because when we just start with world music, was like a mission to bring people together, and I travel a lot with a lot of great artists like Peter Gabriel, Paul Simon. I remember this meeting with Ryuji Sakamoto. He just start to play, then I just sing, and then we built a great song together and something like that. It's travel for me,
Yeah. And I noticed sort of over the years when you hear interviews, composers, musicians often talk of the conduit, the feeling of music not coming from you, but coming through you. And I know that I'm finding it composing as well, but if I'm improvising, I always feel that the best moments happen when I tend to I feel as if I'm in the audience, I'm just listening to it, and something else is coming from somewhere else. Do you find a similar feeling?
In that sense, that I feel that I'm so small and not. There are so many lacks in my knowledge, so I sometimes feel that my music is better than myself. But then sometimes when I listen to my music in the concert, I can enjoy very much the performers, but when I listen to the music, I'm not very happy about it. But I know what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, live music, just to play, rehearse, or doing sound check or something like that, bring me some ideas. Even it's coming from my song. Give me some ideas, and see the show, playing live also is give you direction. And then like what I say before, when I have ideas, it's just very simple with my phone. Just keep the ideas, make sure it's recorded and give it to the guitar player or keyboard, and then the things start.
Yeah. How do you know when a piece is right, when it's working?
Mhm.
It's a hard question, but
Yeah, I think really coming from people. Even, yeah, you happy with your song, happy with your work, and I remember this experience when we decide, Nene Cherry and me, to write 7 seconds, was really totally between us. Was just family to try to get a song, and when we finished the song, we just think it was magical song, and then weeks after, people start to call us and saying, "This is a hit. This is a great song. This is the, and then you realize the feedback coming from people, and then expect more the importance or all the work you did to get it in the right place.
because most artists are the harshest critics,
Yeah.
aren't they? And you always hear. I always hear what's wrong with a piece of music, of my music, before I hear what's right.
Yes. I wonder, is there wonderful music that nobody... I mean, we know from history that there are fantastic pieces which were very badly received. So I don't know what did the composer feel at that moment. I can imagine what Stravinsky felt when Sacre de Printemps was brought out, but even if it was not maybe for the music, but for the dance. But so I don't know. Are there some fantastic works that we have heard, but we didn't understand that they are fantastic?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you read your own reviews?
Not very carefully. I mean, the nice ones, I often feel that the nice ones are not nice for the good reason.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we depend, the moment. And sometimes, you have the good words, you're happy with the things, but it's share between people. Even if it's your song or something like that, your passion and your inspiration, but the end of the day, you share it. And the people, the things coming from people is very important. Yes. Make you proud or happy or anger sometimes. But I think it's important to know exactly people who feel you, who respect your work, what they think about what you propose. I think it's important.
Yes.
I agree. These people can be critics, but they don't need to be critics. They are all the musicians we trust and followers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some critics you can get to respect. I say this, and sometimes they get it right, and you
Of
go,
course.
and sometimes they'll pick on something. Something that you kind of knew you weren't perhaps happy with, and you go, right, note to self.
Of course.
He's got that one down.
Yeah,
But then, as you say, on the other hand, somebody will praise you to the skies, and you go, no, you don't really understand what's gone on.
Yes, but maybe what's going on for me, it's if something else is going on for that person and he or she loves it. I mean, that's everybody hears different things anyway, and feels different.
Do you listen to music at home? Do you listen to other music? Or while you're traveling?
Occasionally, I'm listening things that I'm interested in, or in family we discuss things. I listen. I don't listen to relax. No, I don't relax by listening music. I'm always, anyway, any music I'm listening, I'm thinking of it part of my work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love silence.
Since now 2 years, I'm not really big. I'm not really someone who stay 2 hours listen to music, and I just listen to the radio or sometimes pick up something like that because busy things. There is a moment people like to listen to the others, or to bring his music to the different music you think about. But there's a moment when you deliver something and you're looking for something new from you. You have to listen to the interesting thing you think. Yeah. Anyway, I like the radio. Yeah. Listen to radio, something like that.
Yes, it's good when
especially during the night, when they think everybody's sleeping, they have a good programmation.
The good stuff goes on.
Yes.
And yes, I mean, there's music everywhere. I mean, in shops, in public places, and I don't know how you react to that. I find myself arranging things all the time. If you hear sort of, I've usually got something worked out by the time I've left the shop, which isn't always a good thing.
Yes, well, I think that the only thing that can stop me from imagining my own music, it's of course the other music. So when I'm composing a lot during the day, I don't like to go to supermarket to buy the eggs I need, because I know that if I go out, any music can come, and then the latest hit, and then it starts turning in my mind. So yes. It's true, we cannot choose it.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree.
See?
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, the same.
Mm.
Is it ever quiet inside your head? Just of music?
I don't know.
Maybe now for a moment. What you're thinking. It's never quiet inside of I mean...
I like when it's not quiet. I like when there is something going on. It takes long time for the ideas to get ready to be composed. So it's very comforting to feel that there are things coming.
Definitely. Yeah, depend of the style of the music. In Africa, can compose with 20 people, and there's the right things to be an African, because we share the rhythm or the participation. There's a lot of great songs. Just even one part coming from different people who are not really involved with the composition, but there's a right place. The right place. There's a lot of improvisation, a lot of sharing about music, traditional way.
Yeah. Yes, you did a film recently that Return to Gore.
Yeah.
That must have been a very interesting experience to go to America and see presumably how African music had developed into taken other influences and influenced other musics.
This is the occasion to ask Dudu to help us for the translation, for maybe a little bit about Gore Island.
Mm-hmm.
Gore dafa nekk place boo xam ne que ñun yaakaar nañu ne que am na musique yu fa jógee aussi dem.
Gore is a very special place, and we feel and believe that from that place a lot of music went away from.
bu ñu dégloo par exemple Cuban music même reggae ni mu ñuy duggee ak ni mu ñuy yëngalee dafa mel ni si ñun la bokk dëgg.
When we listen to Cuban music, for instance, or reggae, we can't help but feel that this is part of us. The way we relate to that music means to us that this is something that was part of us.
pour man dafa nekkoon loo xam ne lu am solo la wane yoon wi demaat topp yoon wi pour dellu si ak Gorée aussi.
And it was a very important project to me to follow that route that music took, and then do the full circle and come back to Gorée.
moment bu amoon doole la pour moi, voyage bu neexoon la, voyage bu génne yu nëbbu woon la aussi.
It was a very poignant moment for me. It was a very important trip and journey which revealed a lot of things to me.
Contrairement à beaucoup d'autres artistes yoo xam ne que dañu bëggul ñuy laal ci seen musique, man des fois bëgg naa nit dégg lu ma def mu interpréter ko. Et moment bu amoon importance la pour ñu jël sama woy yi dugal ko di interpréter ci jazz, expérience personnelle bu baax la.
It was a very rewarding experience for me to see other musicians take my music and reinterpret it in a different way. Yeah.
You collaborate a lot with other musicians too.
Yeah.
And, yes. And you collaborate as well with,
I
noticed,
do.
with a lot of musicians and,
Yes.
and artists. I suppose when writing for performers, you've written pieces with in a more conventional way with groups and solo performers and also with electronics, a lot of electronics. This is important to you, using electronics.
Yes, I like adding electronics for different reasons in different pieces. I like introducing the sounds from the nature. I feel that they are part of music, and or then I might have a different kind of ideas about breathing or texts, whatever. I like to. I think about it as a part of the orchestration often, and so it refreshes the sound of traditional instruments also.
Ah, I see. I hadn't thought of it that way. And yes, traditional instruments and traditional music. There's a link in both of your musics to folk music, perhaps, or the music of the land.
I never thought about it really, even if I'm really interested in many traditional musics, but I don't think there is really a direct link. But I love instruments, and I love to find my way to use them. Never go against instrument or voice, but find a way to find my colors with them.
And your music is steeped in tradition, of course. And you've just described how that music has done the full circle. It must have been interesting coming back.
Yeah, definitely. And very diverse also.
Yes.
In my country, we have more than 30 or 40 language style of music, and the rhythm difference and very rich things. Yeah, and also there's a big potential for new composer or urban music or something like that. Very, 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 very diverse. We have the choice, and sometimes I jump to the different style, and it's very important and big contribution for my, vision or my recording session or my show. There is a big contribution in my traditional music.
Do you find yourself in conflict with traditionalists with your music when you take it around and collaborate with?
No, I think really sometimes is you just pick up line from what the traditional guitar play and to ask the modern instrument to do the same thing. And sometimes definitely sound good, sound modern, but the traditional instruments, more we move, more we didn't see them anymore. What we try now is separate the style, make sure this is the only traditional music. And when you talk about traditional music, we don't use modern instruments. And then when we do something like modern, we don't use traditional instruments. Make sure we protect them. And there is some frustration but is an evolution also, because I think sometimes you see a guitar player doing something coming from the traditional guitar, and he developed something definitely new and very interesting, very, very, very interesting about touching, having this diversity.
Yeah. Well, there was a great tradition of Cuban music, wasn't there, in Senegal? For 40s, 50s?
Yeah, definitely.
And,
we think the music coming from home.
Yeah.
They just go like the slave.
Orchestra Baobab and
Yeah.
people like that. And but is Mblak
Mbala. Yeah.
Is that
it's coming from the traditional language, the first language Wolof, and the ethnic, and it's still really popular music. I think it's very popular locally, but it's very difficult to understand sometimes the rhythm, because we don't use the one. Like when you play, you use the one, reggae music, pop music, and like different things. And the Mbalax music, you can hear the one. We Wolof, we Senegalese know the one, but if you play like that here, people are gonna say, where's the the rhythm to je sais pas comment expliquer, mais avec le Mbalax, on ne joue pas le one.
It's the counting and the beat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's different and very specific.
I've been caught out myself, I have to say. Although in Latin American music, I found out that, because sometimes you listen to rumba, salsa, and you think, I thought I knew where the one was, but I don't anymore. And somebody told me it's because it changes.
Yeah,
For the chorus, they move it.
Yeah.
And then it comes back for the verse. Oh, okay, right. Why do they do that? for the dancing. They only hear the same beat. And, okay. One instrument on a desert island. You're on a desert island, you have one instrument.
Kantele, maybe the Finnish traditional instrument, which I never used in my music, but I just now started to work with. It's a little bit like cymbalum, but you play only with fingers. It has very long resonance because there is a wooden board. It has long resonance. It sounds a little bit like harp, but more delicate. I thought about composing for that instrument for 30 years, and now I'm doing it.
The name was?
Kantele. Kantele with
Kandele.
K, yes.
Okay.
There are several models. There are 5 strings for children, and the concert model has like 39 strings. It's diatonic instrument, but you can tune it different ways.
Okay, I'll look into it. Youssou?
You know, kora.
Kora, okay.
Cuma di Jawa Tengah.
Yes.
Beautiful instruments, a lot of possibility and beautiful. I think the desert sounds great.
Yes. And if you're on the same desert island, you could play together. What are you working on now?
Well, I started my 4th opera, and I have only 7 instruments in it with electronics, and one of them is this kantele. And it's in fact a project where we call it Only the Sound Remains. And there are 2 no plays from Japanese traditional plays. But I'm not trying to do anything Japanese, but it's a starting point for this project. So that's I have maybe 10 minutes written, and it will be a little bit around 2 hours. So.
Wow. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
It's the magic 10 minutes. I
Yeah,
tell you.
I'm sure.
I'm writing an opera, and I've just come to the end of the first act, and it's like, it's the Holy Grail. The rest is going to be easy, I'm sure. But you've written. This is your 4th opera.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I know all about it. Oh, I don't know all about it. What I don't know about it, how these people in old times wrote so many operas, because it's very hard work. So, and I thought that it's maybe somehow a little bit less work because I have so little ensemble. In fact, it's even more work because you cannot hide one note. So it's tough, but it's challenging, and of course I always try to do something which I have not done before. So, well, this is now something.
And it comes what you have not done before. Do you have to look for it, or does it?
Oh, sometimes it's very tough.
Yeah.
It's very tough. I go to compose if I can for certain moments at the country house. I'm completely isolated. Well, not completely. There is internet and all that, but people don't come after me there. And there's nature. I bike. There it comes more easily.
And I read somewhere there was 1,000 people working for you.
Oui. Pour l'instant, je ne travaille pas sur un album ou un projet. Je pense que, comme l'histoire, je travaille pour mon pays actuellement. Je me suis engagé pour mon pays. Et c'est pour la musique qui m'a sorti de ça aujourd'hui pour
At the moment, I'm not working on a specific music project because I'm fully committed to working for my country. And funny enough, it's the Polar Music Prize that got me out of that sort of and brought me back to the music.
Yeah, you know, I expect to maybe next year doing something, having some ideas, and we have some show doing this year around France or Belgium, you know, but you know, not really project now.
But as you're Minister for Tourism
Yeah.
and for culture,
5 minutes.
so you have music is in your responsibility then. Performances, presumably. I mean, what does that involve as far as music is concerned, if any?
Bon, j'ai laissé le ministère de la Culture parce que mënuma woon dekk ministre bi ba pare te mënuma di def di performance, donc dama bujjee bàyyi ko pour mën a jël sama liberté pour mën ko def. Lu ma mën a def ci wàllu musique et toutes les choses comme ça du loolu gouvernement du moom moo koy def, parce que la musique dafa soxla liberté boppam, dafa soxla aussi privé bi, dafa soxla tout ce qui concerne. Donc vraiment c'est pas ma responsabilité et du loolu moo tax ma dem dugg foofu.
It is no longer my responsibility, the cultural affairs, and one of the reasons were that I couldn't be judge and jury, be the Minister of Culture and perform as well. I felt that I had to leave that department for somebody else to run so that I can also come back to the music and be a cultural actor as such. And the culture affairs need both the private and the public sector, and I thought I'd rather focus on a different government department.
One last question. How do you relax? Do you relax?
I make food to my family. I bike. I drink wine. Yeah, I make Sudoku. That's my new relaxation. Yeah. Yes.
I watch a lot of sport things, a lot of sport, you know, a lot of games, something like that. You know, make me relax a little bit. But during these 2 years, no place to relax. Really hard. Yeah, very hard with the government and sometimes the other things. And it's really difficult to have a time to relax, to be relaxed. But sport, you know, watching TV, game, and a lot of things will make me.
Football team?
Yeah, I like football.
Okay.
My football team is Senegal.
Yeah, of course.
It's Senegal. And you remember, you know, and during the World Cup in 2002, Senegal disqualified Sweden, I think. Under 8, yeah? And yeah, I like, you know, sport, and I like football, tennis, and, you know, a lot of things.
How do you relax?
How do I relax?
Yeah.
Thinking up questions? No. I play instruments that I'm not usually associated with. Folk fiddle and banjo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I see my grandchildren and
That's great.
I see.
I thought I'd try to save you. No.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kaija.
We really want to thank you all. I mean, that you are such good storytellers through your music, we knew that. But also here and sharing with all of us, I know that it's a great inspiration to all. I actually had a last question from Twitter, and it's to all of you. I think that Kaija already answered it a bit, but it said, what is the best way and where is the best place to get inspiration? We heard a bit about your country house, but maybe your best way to get inspiration?
Oh, best way, you make sure you are in the right place. The right place means beautiful place, romantical place, something like that. And best way is really having something to say, because melody is very important, but for us in Africa, songs means deliver message. And if you see something really happening, a song can change or influence people. There's a point. Sometimes you see something happening, you really want to do something, and if you get the inspiration, do it a song. If you came in with the song, and the song can be faster to resolve the problem you think about.
Anything else but the country house and a lot of wine?
Not a lot of
No,
wine. No. I think that sometimes why we say that the inspiration comes in nature or whatever, it's because we have been thinking for a long time something, but we don't realize it. And then something happens, something specific happens, and that makes us conscious about it. And it can be many different things. But often it's in a moment also where the mind can be free. So we don't necessarily think that now I must find something special, but it's that in fact your mind has been working on it, that then suddenly something, and there is a switch, and then it's there. So it can be, you walk upstairs and suddenly, that's wonderful thing about it also.
That's very nice. I think we would like to hear also from our previous laureate. So how do you get inspiration?
Well, the inspiration's not the difficult thing. It's what to do with it afterwards. And the best way to realize that is to switch off the internet. Briefly get away from it and then find the time to realize it.
So what you're saying is that I will answer our audience that asked us on Twitter that they should turn off the internet to get it. I think that's a very good wrap-up, actually, for this. So we thank you so much for coming here, and we're very much looking forward to tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.